Hey, Tripp here from trippadvice.com. Now, some of you guys are only interested in sleeping with girls. Maybe you're not interested in taking it further. You're just playing the field, having a good time. Well, there are women out there also, just like you, who are not looking for anything serious and just want to have sex. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and a lot of guys find themselves doing that a lot really in their early 20s. Some guys end up maybe getting out of a relationship or a divorce and want to do that as well. So on today's video, what I want to talk to you about is how do you make that happen? How do you make getting physical with a girl fast actually happen? Well, really on this video, I also want to talk about the fact that this is going to be under the case where you probably meet a girl out at some sort of club or maybe a bar or a very heavy social environment. What it comes down to are two things. One, getting physical with her fast, and two, knowing logistics. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. So the first one is getting physical with her very fast. If you want to actually end up sleeping with a girl fast, you know, it's not going to happen where you guys are just not doing any flirting at all and having very normal, bland conversation, and all of a sudden she ends up in your bedroom. Yes, that can happen, but mainly there's going to be some heavy flirting. Now, I should put a disclaimer here, you know, make sure you're not doing anything that she's uncomfortable with, make sure you get consent before you guys have sex, and make sure you're being very appropriate when you're in this very heavy flirtatious phase. This is really important to be able to tell how she's feeling, you know. If she doesn't like it when you're touching her, she's kind of backing off, or she's giving you verbal signs of like, don't touch me, or anything like that, this is not her playing hard to get, this is her actually not interested in you. So make sure you understand that. So again, we're talking about putting on the flirting very fast. So, you know, in order to really create that masculine, feminine, man to woman dynamic, what you want to do is use some of the principles that I talk about, you know, in my program, like Hooked, and also on my YouTube channel, which is making sure that you're facing her in conversation, giving her really good eye contact, making sure your distance between yourselves is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So you guys are creating what I call this bubble between you and her. Okay, so make sure that's all going on in conversation when you approach her, when you talk to her. If you're like, how do I do that? I have a billion videos about how to do that on the channel, so you can learn that. But let's just go over kind of the outline or structure of how this works. Okay, so again, you're very with her, present with her, looking her in the eye, with her, talking to her, laying on the flirting very heavy. My style in terms of teaching guys is more direct, okay? So direct means I like it when you give a girl a compliment and you tell her that she's sexy or that you're interested in her, that she's adorable. Of course, these are things you don't do right away in the conversation. You do that after you guys have gained a little bit of rapport and the conversation has been going on, but being very direct, you know, basically letting her know that you're interested with a balance of pushing back. We call this push-pull. Okay, push-pull, not literally, not physically, but this is kind of like the metaphor of what's happening in the interaction is you're pulling her towards you by saying something really nice and really complimentary, or you're kind of teasing her a little bit and you know, throwing nicknames at her. I actually have a video all about teasing. I'll put that in the comment down, in the description down below. Okay, so you're kind of balance act between push and pull, and you're creating this bubble around her. Heavy flirting. Now you're going to combine this with moving her around. Okay, so let's say, for example, you're at a bar. You want to move her around a bunch. You don't want to stay put. What this does is this makes it appear like you guys are getting closer because you've spent all this time in different places, which is creating these different micro memories around the same area. Maybe you're at a bar and you're going to the bar to get a drink, then you're going to dance a little bit, then you're going to another corner. So you're actually moving her around, you're directing her, you're being very you're leading, so it's a very masculine quality, okay? So you're leading her around the place. Now next, if you want to actually get physical with her and get her in bed, then you guys need to have that moving end up back at your place. This is where the second part comes in, which is logistics. Logistics means you got to find out what are her logistics. You got to be talking to her throughout the night and in the conversation to find out like what's going on. Is she with friends? Does she live alone? Does she live in the area? Is she visiting from out of town? You got to make sure that the logistics line up for you to actually be able to bring her back to your place, or maybe go back to her place, depending. So for example, if she's visiting her friend from out of town, chances are, unless you are really getting to know her friend and her friend really trusts you, chances are she's probably not going to be able to go back with you that night, okay? But if she is out and, I don't know, maybe her friends just left or she can't find them and now she's with you and she doesn't have work tomorrow morning and it's like a Saturday night and she's got no plans and she lives in the area and you live in the area, those are what's called good logistics. That makes it easier for her to want to actually come home with you. And here's the deal. A woman wants to be led, okay? So she's never, very, very rarely, but she's never going to be, saying, oh, let's go back to my place. Oh, let's go back to your place. She's waiting for you to do it. So that's kind of one of the biggest concepts here in this video is you need to take the action to be like, hey, let's go back to my place. Hey, let's leave here. Let's go get some food. And then after that, maybe go back to your place. Hey, I have some, great wine. Let's go back to my place, right? So it's about getting her back to your place and knowing, is she actually able to do that? Does she have the capacity to do that? Do her friends trust you? Can you go and maybe move her around the bar and go introduce yourself to her friends? Get them to trust you, right? Get them to know that if she goes home with you, it's not going to be a big deal. So these are all the little areas that you need to be thinking about if you want to get fast physical intimacy and actually get her back to your place. You're not going to be able to do it every time. Sometimes it can be very difficult because, like I said, the logistics, or maybe you guys don't really gain that rapport very fast. Okay, if you want to learn more about how to gain all that rapport and that heavy flirting, I'll put a link to some videos on that down below. But most importantly, what I want you to check out is eventually you will get a woman in bed, whether it's very fast or after a couple dates or whenever it is, and you need to know how to be awesome in the bedroom so she and you have an amazing experience. So what I have for you is a blog post written by a sex expert named Caitlin V. Neal. That link is also right at the top in the description. Go through that blog post. You're going to learn the entire thorough guide to being an amazing lover. And that is really key because when you do that, then the intimacy is awesome. It's huge. She'll be coming back for more. You'll have an amazing time. So go make sure that you check that out. But to recap here, remember, it's all about heavy flirting, getting her really interested in the conversation that you guys are in, moving her around the venue in terms of where you guys are at, or maybe if you meet her during the day, it's, go and go get coffee somewhere, go on an instant date somewhere, moving around, and then understanding what are her logistics. Is it possible for her to come back with you? And if it is, you're the one to be leading her to your place. So there you go. Comment down below and check out that blog post in the description. I'll see you on the next video.